Guys, I'm going to shoot the first stage out of the two-stage series of the fun shoot that we're hosting here at the Pappy's gun range. And one of the things I want to illustrate about this is the fact that you don't need to be a competitive shooter to come out and do this. The use of the timer helps you get under stress so that you can practice some of your concealed carry tactics and skills that are actually going to be needed in real life. So you don't just go get a permit, buy a gun and put it somewhere, put it in your purse, put it in your back pocket or whatever it is. You actually get some practical use with it. So a lot of folks like to go to indoor ranges, and I think it's very good to get accustomed to the gun, the use, the operation, the mechanics, and be able to reload. But if you get to an outdoor range here, and in this case it's a competition sport called IDPA, or International Defensive Pistol Association. It's actually hosted in 38 countries, including the U.S. You'll find clubs all over the state, South Carolina or North Carolina, hosting monthly club matches where the entry fee may be $10 to come and shoot. You don't need to be a member of the club to come and shoot it the first time. And new shooters will be given an instructional course just before the shooting starts to help them understand what the safety guidelines are and expectations are. And then you get to watch all the shooters shoot a particular scenario or stage, as you see behind us right here, and have other shooters go through that course of fire before you're actually up and doing it yourself. So in this one over here, if we head over this direction, what the shooter will be doing is they'll be starting at this painted line on the ground, and when you look at the 3 targets behind you, there's actually an additional 4th target with a pair of hands painted on it. That's to emulate a non-threat or an individual you do not want to engage. And naturally you would think, hey, the closest guy to you is the guy you need to shoot first. Well, in this case, that's exactly how this particular scenario is laid out. When you hear the start buzzer, you need to draw your handgun and engage those targets from near to far, or the first one that you see closest to you, followed by the next progression of the remaining 2 targets. Then there's 2 other shooting positions. If you go over here, you'll see 2 more targets tucked around this barricade right here. And those are shot in what's called slicing the pie, or in a real life situation, you wouldn't just jump out and expose yourself to a couple of threat targets. You would peek out just a little bit. And the first target that you see is the one that you need to engage per the sport rules. Then if you go over to the 3rd shooting position, which is a crack through these barrels right here, this illustrates the need to utilize what's called cover, or standing behind anything that's going to prevent a potential threat target from engaging you or doing harm to you. So the sport requires that you have half of your entire lower body covered and up to half of your upper body exposed out. When you lean out using the slicing the pie that I mentioned earlier, you'll see what looks like a cutout target meant to simulate a dog. You see the leash going up to the guy, and then you see another dog around the other side. So the way this will be shot are the 3 targets in the middle near to far, the 2 targets around the left side slicing the pie, and then these 3 targets slicing the pie. And I'll go ahead and demonstrate how that's done.
Range is safe.
So now if we go over and have a look at the targets, there's a head box area, a center body area, and then you have this what's called a 1 zone surrounding that center body area, and a 3 zone surrounding even it. The way it's scored is the raw time plus any penalty you incur while shooting it. Penalties are incurred by not shooting it inside the 0. So for every point, this is 1 point, each shot here would be 3 points, is equitable to a ½ second added to your score. So if I had 1 shot here, and if I had 1 shot here, that would be 4 points in this target, or 2 seconds added to my raw time for just this particular target. So the idea is to utilize a balance of speed and accuracy, as you would expect to be doing in the real world. Shooting off rounds anywhere doesn't get you anywhere. So that's why this makes a great sport to utilize in conjunction with the concealed carry permit. What else could you possibly be doing and enjoying as much as shooting a gun and expressing your Second Amendment rights? How cool is that?